I like can't put into words to describe watching probably I would say the most heartbreaking play happen since on prime time for the Jets since the butt fumble.
Yeah.
And fortunately here in Canada we have a different broadcast. But I go on Twitter right after to bury my soul and share my pain with all the other members of Jets Twitter. And what do we see? Is a fucking Robert Saleh brushing his teeth. The ad is so terrible. His acting. Oh, I'm gonna go on a little tangent.
Why does
now.
he smile like that?
Dude, he does like that. We'll put the picture here that I have saved of him like with the toothbrush. But everything, the whole detail, I could do like an hour-long rant and like frame by frame, be like, this, what's wrong with this? It's first of all, they're talking about the Jets playing with a lead. Never. Then they're talking about like, and Bearded Saleh does like this thing where like Saleh's looking at his play sheet and it's the longest shot where he's like slowly moving his eyes down. And he did like one of these where he like this like what a little kid does in like a Disney movie where they're like being sneaky, where he does like the look to the left, look to the right.
Literally.
First, looks at his play sheet, and then it's the mirror of him brushing his teeth. I will say the mirror in the play sheet is funny.
It is funny.
But the whole overall bit is so weird. And then it's like the Jets got the conversion.
Yeah.
And then Saleh's like, good protection. He's like talking about the Colgate toothpaste. Fucking brushing his teeth. So I thought I'd bring my toothbrush this week.
Did you see shout out NYJ Matt? His like he put like I got 5 on it.
Like us or whatever. Yeah.
On it. That's so funny.
Dude, it actually is like a horror movie. Saleh, don't quit your day job. You are definitely not an actor, my guy. But no, it probably made the interception feel like worse. Like I was down in the dumps.
That was the ultimate salt in the wound.
And then I was like, why are we seeing this right now? Oh, heartbreaking. Gotta love Black Friday. And we're back. Episode 14, baby, of the Jets Up North podcast.
Wow.
We're it's crazy, man. Almost at 15. Yeah. We're your hosts. My name is Cole. This is Adam. I feel like sometimes we forget to say our names.
Yeah.
And we're welcome to the Jets Up North podcast. We're here obviously to talk Jets football with our perspective as some good old Canadian boys from up north. The Jets lost their 4th game in a row, which freaking sucks. They dropped a Black Friday game to the Miami Dolphins. Just deeper into the pit of misery we go. Literally. But there's still lots to talk about. Still lots of, I feel like with the Jets, there always is something to talk about. So here we are. That's what we're going to be chatting about today. So we're going to talk about the Jets Dolphins. Yeah. Then we're going to talk about, some of the drama surrounding this game, how we thought about Tim Boyle. Do we want Zach Wilson? Do we want Robert Saleh fired? Clickbait thumbnail? I don't know. Question mark. And then we'll talk about top performers of the game, maybe, touch on, maybe our draft position going into the year, which, for November 28th, the first time we're saying draft position on this podcast.
New record.
Not too bad. Could be a lot worse. Usually we're talking about before the end of October. So.
End of September we're talking about.
And then lastly, we'll talk about, the upcoming game of the quarterback clash of Desmond Ridder and Tim Boyle on luckily, it's a morning game this next Sunday. So, really quickly, right from the top, Adam, what? Give me your thoughts on this Jets Dolphins game.
Oh yeah, it sucked to watch.
Yep.
It was like we just talked about in the cold open. The commercial was like the Saleh commercial was like the icing, the cherry on top, so to speak.
When the Jeff Holland, first of all, I hate that it's Javon Holland because he's probably the only Dolphin player I like because he's Canadian. Shout out.
Yeah.
But like, how long into the return were you like, he's scoring this?
Like 2 seconds with it. Like
I'd say when he got past Brees, I was like, it's over. I'm
as
like, none of the
offensive
offensive
took it out of the end zone. I was like, dog. The only people back there are the O-linemen and Boyle.
Shadow Garrett running from the other end zone to try and meet him, but he had no energy by then. So
that's such a
brutal, man. I
laughed at that.
And what's nice is that happened. You knew the game was over.
Yeah.
The toothbrush commercial happened, toothpaste commercial happened, and then right after that, it was kind of just like the whole thing was a joke to me. After I think I watched the whole game actually. Yeah. Was on my phone just indulging in the self pain on Twitter with all the other fans, but it was kind of more so just a comedy after that. Yeah, that's the perspective you had to have with that game. It wasn't good at all.
I haven't felt that way in a while. The comedy aspect of the Jets.
But you know what? I'd rather feel that than how we felt like after the last game or after like the
Totally.
like I felt way worse after the what was it, the Patriots game last year on the punt return walk off. Like that was devastating.
But at the same time, I don't know. Like when you feel that devastation, that means you had expectations
and you were close.
Yeah.
This never felt close.
Whereas when you're like hit that point of like hystericalness, that means your expectations were low to begin with, and you're just like embracing it kind of, and you're like, I can't believe we suck. Like
I literally felt like the fucking Joker.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
Like I was the Joker dancing in the bathroom.
Dun, dun, going down the stairs.
Yeah.
Hip thrusts. Yeah. Oh, so
bad.
brutal. I mean, we'll jump into the box score here. It's
Yeah.
nothing good, but Dolphins had 34, Jets had 13. Passing yards, Dolphins had 228, Jets had 130. Not surprising. Rushing yards, Dolphins
So
had
good.
167, Jets had 29. Also not really surprising. Sacks. I called it before the game. I messaged you
You said 6.
because Dwayne Brown was announced as not playing or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, yeah, we're definitely giving up like at least 6. And we gave up 7. So,
Mhm.
and then turnovers forced. Funny enough, we forced more. We had a couple picks and then a fumble there. And then we just had the 2 picks.
Yeah, shout out Brandon Eccles.
Bro, shout out Ashton, the closer Davis.
Yeah.
Dude is always around the football this year. He recovered a fumble. It's like, dude is a ball hawk.
How did
See ball, get ball.
What do you think his like turnovers recovered per play is? It's got to be like
His
league
average
high.
rep per turnover caused.
Yeah.
Highest in the league easily. You gotta factor in last season. I'll never forget the Browns
Yeah,
game.
it's like 0.3.
Yeah. Dude has like almost a 50% chance of causing a turnover when he's on the field. It's insane. Random side tangent about Ashton Davis. He came on his first year, wasn't great.
Yeah.
Second year was a little bit better, mostly
Yeah.
special teams guy. Is he his 3rd or 4th year now?
Fourth year.
4th year? He's actually, weirdly enough, developed into like a decent role player for them. Comes in on like a special teams guy, always on kickoff and all that stuff, and then also can kind of has the ability to like come in and play like a weird safety nickel corner
Totally.
hybrid role.
Yeah.
It's like that's kind of a valuable piece because he does so much.
Yeah.
It's kind of like it's cool to see
Before
that.
you know it, he'll be the longest tenured Jet. On the team.
No one over Thomas Hennessy, baby. That's gonna be the
True.
longest tenured Jet.
True.
But yeah, it'll be soon. Overall, though, I mean, this game was freaking bad. Tim Boyle, exactly who we thought he was. I don't know why Jets fans were calling for him or Trevor Siemian. We both went on record being like, our best quarterback, our best chance of winning is Zach, even though he's not
only that,
fantastic.
but you don't get anything from Tim Boyle.
No,
Like, there's no.
you saw sacked 7 times. If Zach's out there,
Yeah.
half that.
I'm
at
not saying
least.
Zach's going to develop into anything
No.
anymore, but like Tim Boyle for sure isn't going to develop
No,
into anything.
He
so-
proved that. Crazy enough, who would have thought if your stats are bad in college and you get the NFL, you're undrafted, and your stats are bad in 3 starts with Detroit, and he's never had the chance in 4 or 5 seasons, probably a good chance that he's gonna be bad as a starter. Look what we saw, like
bro.
insane, dude. And now we have to watch this for coming weeks. Zach's the emergency quarterback.
Just start Trevor. Like
If you're gonna,
signing
but it's like the familiarity with the Hackett offense, I guess, is what they're saying.
the Hackett offense.
It's so, dude. I know
the
it-
most basic offense in the league.
People were calling for Josh Dobbs, but look what he did yesterday.
Yeah.
He kind of 4 picks,
Yeah.
kind of shit the bed.
I
It's like,
know.
hey,
Yeah.
maybe Zach Wilson.
Actually, you know
is
what's
the
funny
guy.
is I say Hackett's scheme is basic, but all I hear is talk about how complex it is and complicated.
So-
but then when I watch it, it is the
It's-
most basic.
Apparently, there's 2
offense.
calls every single play.
And then the quarterback
can flip
keys
it.
to it. Yeah.
Yeah, and so that's like a big part of it is like knowing. So you're given like 2 plays in a huddle, which is kind of
Mhm.
sweet, kind of good idea, but like obviously it's freaking not working. Tim Boyle, how many times was he trying to get them to jump? It worked a couple times,
Yeah.
but man, he got our own guys a couple times. When you're playing with 4th string CFL
Yeah.
level, XFL level linemen, it's pretty tough to do a hard count and try to get the defense to jump
Yeah.
when your tackle is. But
Literally.
it is what it is. The discourse, man, it seems like on Twitter, like there was this one poll,
Mhm.
I forget who posted it, was like, who do you want fired? It was like neither just Saleh, just Joe Douglas, or both. And the highest was just Saleh.
Yeah.
Or sorry, highest was neither, but then if there was an option, it was just
It
Saleh.
was just Saleh.
And I don't understand that.
Who
I
are
feel
you
like
firing him for?
I
That's my
know,
question,
like the defense is still a top defense.
Yeah.
The offense is like, I don't know. Like I'd say the biggest thing that I would give him flack for this year is not controlling the penalties, the
They've been
unsportsmanlike shit.
rampant, Yeah.
But I think that's kind of a cause due to how poor this team's been playing. And you're on defense, you're frustrated.
Yeah. The
So of course you're
frustration
gonna
rises.
right.
Yeah, and they get. I get it, but like, I don't know.
But that's such a minor thing. It's like, and yeah, So I think if anyone's, we talked about it last week. I think
Yeah.
Joe Douglas is kind of, there's some blame when Rodgers went down, they didn't shift and
Agreed.
try to. They went with Zach, which fair enough. It was working for a little bit. Like you saw some
Yeah.
optimism, but like how do you not, as soon as it happens, just have an emergency blanket? It's like if Zach's not the guy,
I
right?
agree.
So
It's just like, I don't know. I don't think anyone gets fired.
no, I think it depends. I think these next
They
couple
went
games,
all in on Rodgers and he got hurt. Like,
No, and we talked about it last week too.
Yeah.
It's like ride it out again next year. If the same thing
Totally.
happens again,
Then
then
clean house.
then that's fine.
Yeah.
Like call it what it is. What it is.
Yeah.
But I definitely think it's premature to call for his head.
I feel like not all of the people, but some of the people calling for his head are like evaluating him off the expectations that arrived when Rodgers arrived.
Yep.
And now it's like, oh, the team looks mid. Yeah, of course it's gonna look mid. Like
Wait,
they lost their quarterback.
the only starters that are
Like-
still there are basically Laken Tomlinson, Garrett Wilson, and Breece Hall.
Literally.
Is there any other starters that I'm missing? Not really.
No.
Everyone's gone
Yeah.
from our day
much.
one. You could argue Conklin, I guess.
Conklin.
Conklin, there you go. Who's having a good year,
Ruckert,
actually.
Sort of, even though he's the third string.
Yeah,
tight
he
end.
kind of moved up, honestly, because
Yeah.
CJ's role is literally just
Yeah.
special teams now, which is give props to Saleh for that.
Mm-hmm.
Give props to Saleh for
Wait, did
making
you say
changes.
Lazard? Because he was also a day one starter. Well,
True.
no, he's gone, actually. Never mind.
I don't like talking about Lazard, man. Get that dude has, I think,
He's gone.
three now
I
different.
loved how Salo was like, yeah, he still has another year and a half to prove
yeah,
himself.
he's on a 4-year contract.
Bye-bye.
Oh.
Jesus.
Can't stand it.
Writing is on the wall there.
Oh, yeah. That kind of goes into this next little bit here, man. The Aaron Rodgers friends.
Yeah.
Frustrating that like every single guy that you brought in to help Rodgers has been
booty
frustrating.
Absolute booty cheeks.
Like every single one. That's kind of tough. There was one tweet I saw where it was like, and I agree with it. It was like Aaron Rodgers and all of his like washed up football friends
Yeah.
greater than just Derek Carr. It's like absolutely, I would take Rodgers and all of his shitty friends, old Packers,
for Derek or
over
like
Derek Carr.
over Derek Carr. Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree with
In an
that.
alternate timeline, we got Derek Carr and Aaron Rodgers probably stay with the Packers, and
I bet you alternate timeline we get Derek Carr. We're like, I don't know,
the same probably.
6 and 5.
Yeah,
Like it's probably not even that.
I'd take Carr over Zach, but that's not
Totally.
saying much.
Yeah.
Yep. So, anyways, let's look at the top performers here. There's not very many, but we'll run through them really quick. C.J. Mosley, 14 tackles, tackle for a loss, and a pass breakup. Dude's just always over the field. That is for his age. It's great.
Mhm.
DJ Reed, 10 tackles for a corner, which usually isn't a good sign. That means if your corner's making tackles, a pass breakup, and then a pick.
Nice pick.
Yeah, the pick was sweet.
Mhm.
Right on.
He's so
Tyreek.
athletic,
He is.
and he's like 5'9".
He did get exposed a couple times here and there on some plays.
That's gonna happen against
Or
the
like
Dolphins.
that
though.
deep pass to Waddle that Sauce
Yeah.
played perfectly, but Waddle
Yeah.
like made a great catch and a
Yeah.
perfect throw. Like you can't. It's tough. Like
Yeah.
a perfectly thrown ball, you can't defend, right? Brandon Eccles, aka Tua Senior, 2 tackles, a pick, 6. Got her first touchdown of the game, which was huge. And then Garrett Wilson, 7 catches, 44 yards, and a touchdown. I mean, Garrett Wilson's quietly stacking up a good year once again with
Yeah, he is.
terrible quarterback play.
Yeah.
So props to him.
Imagine if he had Rodgers.
Did you see the edit on Twitter that someone made where they changed the score ticker so that Garrett Wilson touchdown was like the game winner?
No.
And it was like, I'll see if I can find it and Greg can post
Put
it.
that in there.
But yeah, it's like the video and it's the same touchdown, but
Yeah.
someone changed it so it was like 27-24 for the Dolphins, and so that was like the game winner. And it's like, oh my gosh, the Jets in overtime, and I was like sitting there and I was like, let's go, big Jets dub.
That's so.
Oh, brutal. Anyways, other than that, there's nothing really much else to talk about this game. Overall,
Yeah.
Adam, what's your feeling, I guess, on the game and the outlook for the rest of the season?
I don't know, man. It's funny. I just wanted to point out Brandon Eccles pick 6 during that game. Kind of gave me like this very small glimmer of hope because
I
at
was
that point
losing
we
my
were like
mind, dude.
we were like in it still.
It was what? It was 14? No, 10?
Yeah, it was 10 to 6,
10
and then
to
we
6,
missed the extra point.
Yeah.
And then I was like, never mind.
I was like, we don't. Yeah.
As soon as we missed it, I was like,
Did you see Al Michaels like roasted us?
Literally.
It's like he's bad at kicking extra points because he
Yeah.
hasn't kicked that many. It's like fuck, he roasted
I
us.
was like, all right.
Yeah.
So I just thought that was funny.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's kind of brutal looking at this list of top performers just because it's like, I don't know.
Garrett,
There's not
you
much
can't
to
even really
talk
say
about.
that was a top performer because
Yeah.
it was a garbage time touchdown. 44 yards is not great. At least you got 7 catches.
How old is C.J. Mosley? Is he like 30 now?
Oh, easily 31 or 32.
32.
Yeah.
It's good for him for sticking around and not just being a bum after he got paid. He's
I'm
a real one.
I'm like happy that like CJ Mosley, he was on the hate list, I'd say, for a while as Jets fans. You know,
when he went to that one like bar during COVID after sitting out
in Bama gear. Yeah. Oh man, he was getting flamed, and then of course we'll always remember the pick six in his first game against Josh Allen. That was like literally that in that moment right there, and then the Sam Darnold scramble bomb to Le'Veon literally was like, we're going to the Super Bowl.
I genuinely think like 2 universes were born from that. Yeah,
point. I agree.
Like in one, we won that game,
like,
and we've been high on life since.
Yeah, Jets make the playoffs. Darnold's still the quarterback. Yeah. Dowell Loggins is a head coach for the Colts or something. Insane. I agree. That was a converging point, and we're on the bad timeline at that point.
Darkest timeline.
It is. Anyways, moving on. Let's talk about the draft a little bit.
Let's go
really quickly here, man. Looking at the top 11 here on the draft, we're sitting there snug at 8. I'm pretty confident that we can get to 6. There's not a better relationship
6 just calls
than the Jets and the 6th overall pick.
We're gonna get the best player in the draft.
Yeah. We're going to get a guy who should have gone top 3 that everyone says, who falls to 6. Like, the Jets got the steal of the draft. Leonard Williams is a plug-and-play, most pro-ready player.
Jamal Adams.
Yeah, most pro-ready player. The Jets got a steal. Anyways, we've heard that song and dance before. Honestly, when it comes to the draft, you're looking at this. If we're anywhere in the top 10 in the season, I'll be pretty happy. Like, last year we picked 15. Even there, I'm okay with that. I saw this one, like, a good tweet. It's like, honestly, like, unless you're having like a top 3-5 pick, anywhere's fine. It's like as long as you have a coaching staff that can draft the right players.
Totally.
Which Joe Douglas, we can argue, you know, you look at 2021 draft, you look at 2022 draft, it's a different story, right?
Totally.
So we'll see. But I think, you know, you look back, you look at who's, you know, at 9 and 11, that Chargers and Vegas game now looking at those, yes, it sucked losing those for playoff reasons, but larger grand picture, kind of nice now looking at this. Like, hey, we have now, if we're, you know, tied record-wise with them, we kind of have those tiebreakers.
True.
The only one that we don't on this list right now is the Giants, because we beat them. So, I mean, I'm excited to see where the Jets kind of go. I think this upcoming draft, you definitely either go wide receiver to get another option or tackle. What do you think?
Their alternate universe is trade back, accrue more picks.
Marvin Harrison Jr.?
Send some more. No, I mean, like...
If you were the GM, you would trade down. Absolutely, get a second-round pick.
And then use that for Devontae.
There you go. Stonks.
This is going to be a recurring theme on the podcast. I'm going to keep pushing for Devontae until it happens.
Yeah, I agree.
know it's happening. So.
I think it's going to happen. Yeah. I feel like the Raiders might try to, like, dangle, like, play hardball. Be like, oh, you guys wanted that badly? We'll give us, like, a better pick then.
He's owed like $44 million next year or some ridiculous number. Greg will pull it up.
Yep.
It's a stupid number. Like, it's quarterback money that he's owed.
Yeah.
So Raiders might be like...
And I think they still have to pay Josh Jacobs, don't they? Because they paid him a 1-year deal.
And Max Crosby.
Yeah.
So it's like they're in this weird... and they owe Jimmy Garoppolo like $20 million a year.
That sucks. No, that contract is like for a contract that's a team that's win now, which the Raiders aren't. The Jets aren't right now, but next season they definitely could be. So... Totally. I think that's a good point. I like the idea. GM Adam.
GM Adam over here.
Trading down.
And then we just take like a O-lineman.
Best available.
Like in the
even if he's a guard, that's fine. Just move
AVT
out to tackle.
Take some guy.
Yeah.
Take the biggest guy.
I like it. Speaking of offensive linemen, I'll plug this in here, man. Our boy, man, Joe Tippmann.
The Wisconsin Waterfall. Dude,
honestly, this offensive line has been blasphemous this entire season. But there's been a bright spot. And it's funny because he started in preseason like being like a third string or whatever, being a backup, not getting first team reps. But then he kind of, once he got game reps, everyone was like saying, oh, like his film like pops out at you.
Oh, yeah.
And so shout out Joe Tippmann here. You know, Woody Johnson tweeted this out, but 98, according to PFF, he got a 98.4 pass blocking efficiency,
which is crazy,
in the league, which is first among rookies.
That's crazy. Good for him.
He was the first center taken in the draft. John Michael Schmitz was taken by the Giants right after.
I wanted JMS so bad. And honestly, like they're both looking.
That was the name that I knew more of, but then But then when you see the pictures of this guy and you saw like the beard and the mullet, you're like, okay, no, that's
I
our
was like, I
center.
could get behind that. He looks like a guy who's gonna be on the team for 10 years. And
I love his build, man. A 6'6"
Yeah.
center, like that's kind of rare because usually they're
Yeah.
like short guys.
yeah,
He has the
unit.
He is, and he has
and
the
honestly, he's been healthy, so that's all I really require.
say psych, knock on wood, and say psych right now. But it's exciting. I messaged you this today. I'm like, it's kind of exciting that like we have our like
Him and AVT.
for
Yeah.
the future. Like that's a good interior
It
core with those
is,
two
yeah,
guys,
yeah.
and then you can get a vet to get the other guard spot.
Hopefully Mackay comes back. Is there any news on?
He was
Mackay?
okay. So all I know was that he was like a game. He was like a game time decision against
Yeah.
this last week, which is crazy considering I thought he was like done for the year again.
Yeah.
So we'll look into it. Maybe Greg can add a thing here if there's an
Yeah.
update tomorrow or in the coming days for that.
Yeah.
But fingers crossed.
optimistic.
Obviously, it sounds like he's coming back this year, which is huge. Becton's had a couple ups and downs in games this
Yeah.
year, but I'd say ultimately for him, he's still one of our best offensive linemen. I'd say
Totally.
even right now, he's probably is our best.
Right now, yeah.
And
Yeah.
so
Which
it's
is maybe not saying the most, but
No.
that's okay.
his
you know?
he kind of comes with highs and lows though.
True.
He'll get beat by like some speedy guys
Yeah,
because
he
he's so
does.
big, but then like you see him in the run game and you see those clips where he's
Oh,
like
yeah.
like pancaking guys. You kind of you take the trade off,
Yeah.
right? Hoping that he can bounce back quick and have finish off the year strong and kind of build off
So,
something in next year. So
yeah.
looking forward, this next week, Jets. Honestly, I was curious. It seems like the Jets have a lot more home games, but I think that Giants game kind of adds confusion to it
Yeah.
because that was an away game technically. But the Jets are at home this week, finally in the morning slot against the Atlanta Falcons. And I think I sent you the clip of the when you think Jets Falcons, you always think of that Monday night game with Geno driving the field to kick the game winner with Folk, which is like
Yeah.
he had a touchdown to like Cumberland to Curly.
Yeah. I hate that that's like a moment.
I know.
Like, that really shouldn't be a moment.
Young
in your-
Geno Smith, like rookie season Geno Smith was actually something
and then
else
he's gonna
though.
get punched in the face and then
Ick by Ick and Polly,
Yeah.
and then that was when Rex Ryan signed him to the Bills
Mhm.
because he's like
Mhm.
because he's punched the other team's quarterback, and he was a captain. He made Ick. Did you ever hear about this?
No.
So you know who the guy who broke Geno
Yeah.
Smith's jaw? The Bills and the Jets obviously played, and
Yeah.
for that game, Geno was the captain, and then the guy who punched his jaw was the other Bills captain. Like Rex knew and
Oh,
elected him team
That's
captain.
so funny.
I'm like, that's a classic Rex Ryan,
Yeah.
like psychological, like
I didn't know that. That's a hilarious fact. That's a
little
Jeopardy fact.
little tidbit there for you.
Yeah.
So Jets Falcons. Jets coming in at 4-7. The Falcons at 5-6 right now. They're first in the NFC South,
It's not fair.
which is crazy. The NFC South last year and this year has just been like whoever wants it can get it. I
Why
guess.
can't we ever get that?
Dude, I know,
It's not
but
fair.
like we had to watch Tom Brady for all those years,
No.
and then now we have the Bills who are
And the
struggling, but
Dolphins.
now the Dolphins. I know, just
And the Pats are gonna get Caleb or Drake. So
I hope they get Drake. That's fine. I'm not too worried about the Patriots. It's funny because they'll draft a quarterback, but they still have so many other issues that like a quarterback
Yeah.
isn't fixing that.
Yeah.
But looking at Atlanta here's some of the matchups to watch. So this Falcons, they have a top 5 run game on offense versus this Jets defense. The Jets
Bijan
kind of
versus Quincy.
dude. There's gonna be some pops,
Yeah.
dude. I'm a little bit nervous because they also have who's their second running back? They have
Tyler
Algier. He's
yeah.
pretty good too.
He is
He's a
good.
nice he's a thicker power back, which is a
Yeah.
nice contrast to Bijan's like
Totally.
shiftiness.
Yeah.
Ritter can kind of beat you with his legs sometimes too, so
Little
that's
bit.
something you have to be
And,
aware
like,
of.
even though they don't use them, Pitts and Drake are still threats.
I know.
In the past,
And they're bound to like have a breakout game here and there,
Totally.
right? The Jets notoriously.
I wouldn't be surprised if Pitts puts up
I was just about to say.
160 on
I wouldn't be.
us,
The Jets
but-
notoriously just
Yeah.
don't cover tight ends.
Or the
They'll
get
have-
right team.
What was that a couple years back where Minshew dotted us up with Dallas Goddard? Like Dallas Goddard was open every play against the Eagle
that's
Zach's rookie
right.
year. I'm like, dude,
Curse.
like they just can't cover tight ends sometimes.
Yeah.
Or Dawson Knox, those random Bills
Dawson.
games over the years.
Yeah.
So, Jets offensive line versus this Falcons top 15 defense. I'm kind of excited to see how this overall team looks. I
Yeah.
look at the Will Levis performance with the Titans against the Falcons, and I'm like, okay, if he can dot them up in his first start.
Yeah, you'd think.
I know.
You'd
You
think.
play this comparison game in
Yeah.
your head, and you think it makes sense, right? And then, of course, they same
They
old
just
Jets.
have a way of
Yeah.
making things just not make sense.
No, agreed. So, but we'll see. I mean, I'm excited to see like maybe this offensive line. Like, is this the first time since week like I don't even know that we're the same offensive line this week?
Yeah.
It depends if if Becton comes back, 'cause then
Yeah.
that shifts it again to from last week.
Totally.
And then will anybody step up to be the Jets' second receiving option? Alan Lazard benched, thank God. We saw a couple plays from Xavier Gibson here and there throughout the season.
He's fun. I hope he gets more tread. Honestly.
Yeah, agreed. And then Brownlee as well.
Yeah.
Here and there, he had a couple plays where actually, like after the catch, he was kind of a little shifty, and like you saw like some juice in his movement.
So we could use some juice, honestly.
Yeah, he kind of reminds me of like not the play style, but like the movement and the body shape. I
hope we do
of like
two
a Julio.
things this off season. Yeah, he does remind me a little bit of a Julio.
It's the
like
the lankiness and like
bit
the
of
movement.
Like a slimmer frame.
Yeah,
but it's like he has like the archetype, I guess.
He's
nowhere near
as raw
Julio.
Like, let's say. Yeah. What were you about to say?
I'm just saying like watching him, he just looks like him. I'm not saying he is anything like him, but anyways, I was just saying I need two things this offseason. It's protection for Rodgers and speed. I just need
protection,
speed.
like Colgate toothpaste on your teeth.
Exactly that.
Sorry, but and receiving options. I agree.
And just raw speed. Just put speed on this offense.
I agree. I mean, it's nice that like at least we don't have to worry about like receiver 1, running back 1. Yeah. That's kind of a nice thing to have. It's like, hey, we're just like
get us
pieces.
Like a Raheem Mostert to back up Brees. Like just put a guy who can run like 4.32.
Yeah,
4.29 just behind Brees. Have him do end rounds all day long.
Agreed.
We just need someone like that.
A guy just so Brees isn't getting like.
I thought that's what McColl was supposed to be, and then we didn't use him at all. And I'm like, all right,
6 yards. Hey, 6 yards against the Cowboys.
Yeah. Wow.
I know, not great, but next little topic here: Ritter v. Boyle. I put the battle amid here.
Yep.
We got two quarterbacks who aren't very good.
They're having a mid-off.
A mid-off, as they'd say. Yeah. Kind of exciting to see because the Jets, for the most part this year, they've faced like really good to elite quarterbacks, and now we get to go up against a guy who has struggled this year. He got benched,
so naturally he's gonna.
I know. So naturally he's gonna have 4 touchdowns, no picks. I know.
After we make
the time
Mahomes,
of possession's gonna be like 3-1.
Literally, we make Hurts look silly. We make Mahomes look silly.
Yeah.
Josh in our first game looked silly.
You can tell we're not very optimistic here.
No, we even made Herbert look pretty silly.
Yeah.
And I was gonna bring that up when we look at the draft order. It's kind of sad for Chargers fans. They're 4-7. That's pretty tough.
That is tough. I like thought about that today. I'm like, our situation's bad, but then like there's other teams in the league right now. Like the Panthers firing their coach right now.
Yeah.
Like the Panthers, I feel bad for. You look at them. They're gifting Caleb Williams to the Bears.
They traded DJ Moore and Caleb Williams
and like multiple picks. They have like a future set. Like I think there's like a 2024 like 4 or 5 second thrown in there too, and a bunch of firsts. It's like, dude, you like the Panthers aren't gonna have picks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then you look at like the Texans, and they like did it perfectly.
One offseason turned around.
Yeah.
I know, and everyone thought they were gonna be terrible.
CJ and
that gives me optimism. I feel like every year that like I remember
that was supposed to be us.
I know.
With Zach and Elijah Moore.
I know.
And Salah.
Zach and Elijah Moore.
And instead,
Tank Dell and
Tank and CJ.
It's not fair. I like CJ Stroud. His touchdown dance is pretty sick.
That
arm thing he does. But only pain, man. I mean, Tampa's in a situation like these teams, man. The Giants, Tommy DeVito.
Tommy DeVito's nice.
He's kind of a nice backup.
And he has
that
that
chain,
just
have.
the TD chain.
Yeah,
love that
for touchdown and for his name. Like that's a pure football guy.
I don't know if you saw this list. I saw this. It was by like CBS Sports, and it was like, they were ranking like the rookie QBs.
Yeah.
And like it was like the QBs you'd take right now, and Tommy DeVito was above Bryce Young, and I was like, that's a hilarious like take.
Imagine
like,
someone
imagine
like
being a Panthers fan and seeing that. You're just like, no,
Tommy DeVito. It's tough. I mean, like I don't understand going back to the Panthers here, firing their coach and everything. I don't understand like what like Bryce Young is best receiver is Adam Thielen.
Yeah. Who's like 32.
They signed what's his face to be running back, Miles Sanders, and he's done nothing. Like they're running Chuba Hubbard.
Isn't their O-line like just booty cheeks?
Yeah, that too.
Like,
and so it's like I don't understand what he was supposed to do in 11 games.
And they really don't have anyone on defense. They have Jeremy Chin and Brian Burns.
Yeah, and they had what's his face at corner, but he's hurt this year, I think.
Oh yeah, I can't remember his name.
He was drafted the same year as Surtain.
J.C. Horn.
There you go. So,
dude has the deepest voice of all time.
Does he?
Sounds like a smoker. Like when I say smoker, I mean like chain smoking cigarettes all day, every day kind of smoker.
Interesting. You know whose voice I never thought matched them was Andrew Luck.
Dude, his is funny.
It's so deep. Kind of like almost like a little bit of Kermit the Frog
like
in there
Mahomes,
too. Yeah, a little bit. Like
the I'm here video.
Yeah. I'm here.
I'm here.
I'm here. We gotta get Greg to put that in here. Yeah. I'm here. So good. overall, man, are you know what's something that you're kind of looking forward to see this Jets Falcons game? It's a couple of teams that it's the battle of mid, just like this quarterback matchup. What is there something you're really excited for this week? Just laughs.
But I'd love to see Tim Boyle cook. I'd love to see Breece Hall take one to the house from 80 yards out.
Yeah, classic
I'd love
Breece.
to see Sauce get a pick six finally after missing one against Dallas, was it? I'd love to see, I don't know.
I saw the clip.
Someone not get hurt. I'd love to see a game with no injuries. How about that?
I agree. I agree with all the sentiments. I think adding to that, it would be nice just to have a game because it's been 4 games in a row now where you even after the Giants game, you could argue that we felt pretty lousy after that performance.
Sure.
Like it was a close win. We were excited for that.
Yeah.
But it was a stinky game, to say the least. And so that's 5 games in a row of terrible performance. Looking back to the Eagles game, which you could even argue wasn't that great of a performance either. But anyways, I just would like to see a game where you feel like, man, like it feels good. It's like
that was fun to watch.
Yeah, it's like
I haven't felt that in
there was mistakes. Yeah, maybe there was a couple of turnovers, but like man, they moved the ball. Like they were like they eliminated penalties. They eliminated the annoying, frustrating mistakes.
The one game I feel like this year that I feel like I was like that was fun to watch was a game I didn't even watch because I was on an airplane.
The Chiefs game. I know. That probably was the most fun.
There's one game probably. Every other game, even like the Eagles game, there's no point where I was like, this is fun.
No.
You and I were stressed the whole time.
Yeah.
We were like, what is happening?
And then at the end, the last 2 minutes, you're like, oh, this is fun.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Overall, is like
the Broncos game, I guess you could say was kind of fun, but like even then they weren't finishing drives. They settled on so many field goals.
Yeah.
And the Broncos had a chance to win it.
Yeah.
And so you're on the edge of your seat. You're like, man, the Jets are going to choke this.
Literally. It's just like there's fun moments, but I just want to watch a game where I'm
from
like
start to finish
smiling the whole time. I'm like, man, I love Jets football.
Yeah, even if you lose, it's like, man, like the guys fought hard.
Yeah.
Like it's something to be excited about. There's so much to build off of going into
the
next
bar
week.
keeps getting lower and lower. It's getting bad out
It's
here.
tough, man. But you know, we're out here, man. We're out here in the depths, still putting out Jets content week after week.
Mm-hmm.
I keep thinking, I'm
We're
like,
in
man,
the trenches.
we did this thinking we're gonna have the most glorious team to cover. Like this is gonna be the best Jets team since like 2010,
and it's
brutal. It's on par with like people are arguing right now on Twitter. It's like, I miss the Adam Gase offense? Like at least they were able to score on the first drive of the game and like.
I always hate seeing that stat where Sam had better stats than Zach, and I'm like, I can't believe I thought Sam was rock bottom.
The Zach comparison to Jamarcus Russell is the one that broke me, and I'm like, well, we just, and especially in today's passing game, where in 2007 or whatever,
he averages like 180 yards a game, 1 passing touchdown, and like 0.9 interceptions. It's like, dude, what happened to BYU Zach?
I know.
Where did he go?
The ball's not going down the field.
Yeah.
But I think with this offense, the biggest issue is everyone talks about it is they're just too scared to make mistakes. Starts the quarterback, but it's everywhere
they make
now.
Mistakes because of that. It's like, bro.
Breece was saying that like he's doing things that he hasn't never done in his career after the loss. He was talking about how he has the mindset that he needs to score, make a huge play every single time he touches, instead of just getting the dirty 4 or 5 yards.
And it's always like he needs to get more grimy yards.
Yeah.
It's like, bro, how about you worry about I don't know, coaching a team that doesn't
How about we don't? How about Michael
play?
Clemens doesn't get fight after the whistle because he's done that twice this year.
Yeah.
He fought with the Bills and he fought with the Dolphins. He got ejected against the Dolphins for accidentally hitting a ref.
Yeah.
Like I'm done with Michael Clemens. That's something that I gotta mention.
Yeah.
Loved him. He was a great like depth guy. Was good as a rookie. Had a couple plays. Got a sack even in this game. But man, like that stuff during the Bills game and then fighting in the hall like the locker room after when he got thumped. It's like why are you fighting?
We
should
have lost to the Giants because of him too.
Right.
Because he jumped on the
on the punt.
Yeah. And gave him a new set of downs.
True, I forgot about that.
Like
winning, it cures that, right?
It does.
But if we lost,
that's the moment where like
true.
It's like, bro.
True. It was on the backed up with their own like 5 or something.
Literally.
Yep. And then fighting, getting ejected this game, which is fine. I don't care. It's like we're better off without you, but so frustrating,
him and
man.
Carl Lawson and Lazard. Shadow band.
I like Carl Lawson.
I do too, but they
just don't play him because he's getting older. But man, Lazard, dude, shadow band. Like I don't want to think about him. I was not a fan of the signing. I was only okay with it because of Rodgers. And dude, I think he has like three different ads on his Instagram page. So he has 1 touchdown this year and 3 ads.
Yeah.
It's like the meme of
This is the worst ratio.
Dude,
ever.
the meme last year was like, because it was announced that Russ with the Broncos, his new place had like 12 toilets.
Oh yeah, it was.
And there was the graph of like touchdowns for toilets.
Yeah.
That's like Lazard right now. It's
literally.
like, how many touchdowns to fucking Instagram ads does he have for bullshit companies? Like, congrats, dude.
Brutal.
You're selling a fucking robe, like a comfy robe, or reading a book, or wearing glasses.
It's almost like it is a comedy. It's so funny.
It is funny. It is
so
that's what I'm saying.
Hilarious.
I was telling my buddies when the Saleh thing happened,
Yeah.
I'm like, this feels like an SNL sketch.
Literally.
Like, this feels like a bit from I Think You Should Leave. Like, where's Tim Robinson? Like, like you literally like. It's,
I'm like watching in dismay as Javon Holland returns this Hail
and I'm
Mary.
yelling, and my girlfriend's like, "Can you stop screaming? Like, you're scaring the dog."
Yeah. I don't think I made a noise. I just sat there like in silence, and then this commercial comes on, and I'm just like, it was like the most dystopian thing I've ever seen.
Episode of Black Mirror, dude.
Literally, I was like, holy shit.
I wish I
This
could
rock bottom.
I wish I could use that toothpaste and fucking scrub my eyes.
And you know what's
out.
hilarious is I just said that is rock bottom.
There's more, baby.
There's more. I guarantee
18 more
you.
layers, baby. There's gonna be some crazy shit next
episode,
week.
We're gonna be like, boy, were we wrong.
I know.
Like, literally.
Oh, brutal, man. Anyways, let's kind of get wrapping this thing up here.
Yeah.
What is your score prediction for this Jets Falcons game? You can't say 3-0. You said that last week.
I'm gonna say 14-10 for the Jets.
Nice. Couple of tutters.
Yeah.
I like it. To 10.
Both are defensive touchdowns.
Fumble recovery in the end
or
zone and a
special
pick
teams.
6. Yeah.
This is non-offensive touchdowns. And we somehow win, and then we just ruin our draft position. That's how.
That's fine. I'll take. Are you pro tank? Like at this point in the season, we're not making the playoffs. Do you are you okay with losing games, or are you still like if we won out and missed playoffs, would you be happy with that?
Here's the problem. Like, obviously, we have this podcast, so it's like I can't check out mentally.
Yeah.
And like I'm gonna continue. I'm a fan of the team, so I'm not going to really check out. But I am inching closer to like if we happen to lose the rest of the way out,
like how we have been. Yeah.
I don't go into games anymore. Like even this game, I just
maybe we come on the podcast and talk about just like the more grand NFL. Maybe like if the team is that bad, we can touch on the Jets.
No, I'm not saying like yeah, we could.
And be like, so how about we'll pick an NFC team. And be like, yeah, and so how about the
how about the
Lions
Panthers?
Yeah, it's a Panthers podcast, bro. I feel bad for those fans.
Yeah,
Anyways,
what I'm saying is like my expectations are getting so low that if we continue to lose out, I'm not like heartbroken. I've just kind of accepted it, kind of thing.
At least we're at the point now.
So I'm not pro tank, but I'm also not like if we happen to tank, I'm not gonna be like, oh, like I'll just be like, I'll be like, well, it happened.
At least we kind of know now.
Yeah.
I mean, we knew the season was over 4 plays in.
Totally.
So we were just kind of holding on to hope.
You literally saw me, like Cole and I watched the Bills game week 1 together and we had like there was like 10 of us watching this game, and like. I literally went on my balcony and like screamed at the top of my lungs.
Dude, and then you were just like nonverbal on the couch for
you literally watched me go through what like I would consider to be like a breakup. Like I got dumped.
You got the text message.
Literally, like that was like that I felt emotions I haven't felt
that was tough
before. Like I was like
we literally got led on for like 6 months by the baddest bee.
Facts.
And then she snipped us over text.
100%. Like
when you're with the boys having a time of your life. That's literally what happened.
Snip snap, snap, you know.
Snip snap. Jets Falcons. I'm gonna give them. Jets are gonna win, obviously. 26 to 18. 26-18 Jets.
Yeah.
We finally get the trifecta of a Ruckert, Garrett, and Brees touchdown. We're gonna get Tim Boyle running in like a 2-point convert or something and doing the Ryan Tannehill ball flip that he does, which is really sweet. We'll make sure I love his celebration.
Yeah.
We'll make sure he does the little whoop, and then I think the Jets. I'm excited because it's kind of like this good litmus test to see if this team is ready to just roll over and die. Are they mid? Are we going to be talking?
In my gut, I feel like we win.
Yeah.
But like, I don't think
every week we say this though.
Yeah. No, in my gut, I do feel like we win. Like this is like the Eagles gut feeling I had. But like, I don't think it'll be like a win where I'm like, nice. It'll just be like, oh, we won like 9-6 or something, and the most lame game ever kind of thing. That's my feeling.
And the Jets are gonna be acting like they won the Super Bowl after, and be like that Jamal Adams tweet.
The culture's
changed. But
Greg's got us on that one. Classic.
Yeah, it is. Anyways, that's gonna wrap it up here with Jets Up North. Once again, we thank you for flying with us today. We'll be back next week to look forward to the Jets Texans, which is gonna be a scary one.
Yes.
Early in the year, that was when we checked easy dub.
Yeah.
And now we're probably. I mean, depending on how this weekend goes, because everything can change. But if I were to say, I'm like, I think we might get worked by the Texans, which I'm nervous about.
Honestly.
Stroud is an MVP candidate as a rookie, like D'Amico Ryans, potential coach of the year. But anyways, we'll worry about the Falcons. Thank you again for watching, wherever you're watching. And we'll be back next week with another banger. Peace out.